This video is going to show you an optimized solo master Nightfall, getting platinum rank and showing you how to solo farm Ascendant Shards, exotics, etc. on this particular Nightfall this week, which is Birthplace of the Vile. The modifiers are favourable. It's the weekly modifiers, famine and subtle foes and stuff like that. Providing that you have power, you can run through this in less than 20 minutes. So I'm gonna, if you're not sure how, I'll show you how to do that. Also, we're doing it with the exotic grain launcher Dead Messengers. You see me, I'm using it here with Royal Entry, Void Rocket and a Unstoppable Pulse. So what I'm doing is spawn killing the overlords here with a combination of using a bit of my rocket and a bit of Dead Messenger. You can see the grenades just spawn killing them all as they step into it. So this run is more of a optimized run to show you how to speed each encounter. This isn't just about this is just how you solo it. No, this is how you solo it and do it optimized, so you can do 3-4 runs, you know, an hour, whatever, 3 runs an hour, you know, 2-3 runs. So I like to stand near this rock for this little section, and what my goal here is to finish the Unstoppable if we can. He's finishable, but I'm doing some damage to the major, but the rocket ends up clearing him. So that's, but my intention was to get a finish, so I'll get a brick, but that's fine. You can see we've got a Void Elemental well build on. If you're not sure what mods I've got on, just look at the start of the video and go through it. I'll quickly show you. This video is less informative that way because the stakes aren't high. If I'm doing a video where the stakes aren't really high, like it's not a Grandmaster or it's not a Master Nightfall like week 2 of the season, then I don't go over the top in depth into these videos, because you don't need to. There's like 10 days left in the season. There won't be that much interest in this anyways, so I don't need to go over the top. But for those who do want to farm Ascendant Shards and stuff from endgame mats before the new season, then you can do it. You can have a look at it. That's it. So we're using our Nova Warp here. That's right, we're using Nova Warp, not Cataclysm. Reason for that is because you can make it really work well in this particular Nightfall, because there's a lot of ads. There's plates to capture, so it's perfect to use a Roman Super when you're trying to capture a plate. We've also got the Devour, the general Chaos Accelerant, Feed the Void, setup on, you know, the setup I've been running all season. Not using Child of the Old Gods, because it is not a good pick when you are solo. In a team, it's alright. It's got its utility, but it's nowhere near as good as Devour, because Devour's Devour. It's king. Right, and I've played with Devour long enough to know that that's automatically the best. Until they do something with Child of the Old Gods to make it do a bit more than what it's doing now. Not in terms of the ability usage, but just how much damage it drains enemies and all that. Make it a little bit more of a top pick, right, and I might start considering it. I don't want it just to be something that's just fun to use. I do know it's fun, but I also want it to be effective in the highest endgame stuff. Right, I think that's fair to ask of that, you know, because obviously, you know, but as I say, we're using the Devour setup. I spawn killed the Unstoppable first before you run over there. Reason for that is because he's going to get tethered, you know, so I don't want to deal with a tethered champ, so you deal with the Unstoppable first. Then generally try and get a finisher kill on him. I accidentally killed him too quickly, Overload, but that's fine. We've got a brick. Because obviously we've got loose and finisher on, so that's heavy ammo drops on every finisher kill you get on a champ. Or the Guardians, but obviously there's no Guardians in this, so. Close to our super, I don't recommend you use your super any time other than the key rooms that I'm going to show you. The key times when you want to use it to speed up the whole run. I've done a whole bunch of tests on this Nightfall today, just because I was farming it for Ascendant Shards, because I'd spent a lot of, I think I spent like 12 Ascendant Shards yesterday, something like that, just farming the Contraverse Master Armor. So I wanted to fill back up on shards today, so I just thought, oh, I'll do some Master runs. Which you know, a lot of people are still unfamiliar with this Nightfall, all the particulars about it, where to stand, what to do. We're going to use the super here to take out all the ads. Nova Warp will deal with unmatched shields as well. My goal is to isolate the champions, so the champions left. We do a pretty good job of that and take out all the room apart from one raider. Then there's just the overloads. We'll stun him with our grenade. Obviously we haven't got an overload weapon on, because the grenade's going to do all the work. You don't need an overload weapon on this difficulty. Dead Messenger, you only take 3 shots to get a champion to be stunned when using Dead Messenger on these overloads. So it actually puts out really good damage. There's a couple of wave frame grenade launchers that are good in the game, and I recommend if you're going to do it, choose a void one. So either this one or the I don't know the name of it, but I know it's from Season of the Hunt, and I've actually got it with Ambitious Assassin. I know everything about the weapon, I just can't remember the name. You can use that one, or, you know, I think Dead Messenger is worth its exotic slot. Especially when we get into activities where there's multiple match game shields. I mean, this one there isn't, but, you know, if they ever, you know, Nightfall's next season, it might be viable. To be fair, it's always going to be viable, this weapon. The reason being is because you can switch between Void, Arc, Solar. So if there's an Arc, or if there's a Solar build next season, it's going to be usable. It was usable this season, obviously because of Void 3.0. But yeah, it's going to be the same next season. So it'll always be relevant, and I kind of like that. That's really good design of an exotic to always be relevant, as providing they don't nerf grey launchers, which they shouldn't be nerfing, not the special ones. Please don't. Only the heavy GLs need to be buffed, which there is a leak come out that they're going to do that this year. I don't think it's this season coming. I think it's the one after that, and they're going to do a buff to Anarchy and stuff. Apparently, that's what's coming. So I recommend you capture this plate first. There's 2 waves of ads at a time, so I like to use a grenade for one wave of ads, and then on the other use Dead Messenger. I've got my super, so we're capturing this plate first because it's more difficult. It's not too hard, but it's more difficult than the other side, just because how the ads can hit you from multiple directions. So I'll use a super here to confirm the plate capture and to speed it up. See, if I was on Cataclysm, you wouldn't have this ability, would you? You know, I know you can still use it, and it probably is overall somebody who's really good on Voidwalker will make better use out of the Cataclysm over this. But as I said, Nova Warp's alright, and it comes in really handy at the boss because you can multitask with the server, which I'll show you. Play 2, really easy. Add spawn on the other side, so use a grenade to at least get Devour Chain going. Then we're safe. Then we can just spam Dead Messenger. The captain spawns about halfway. There's a Screeve that exploded on me there. It must have come from behind or teleported. That can happen. We're just sort of waiting for this plate to capture. It's almost. Once it has, we can then go. We'll get an unstoppable champion here. We can spawn kill all the ads relatively easy because of our grenade and stuff. I want another brick, so I'm going to not use any rockets. I'll use some Dead Messenger. Hopefully get some special, but if I don't, then I'm low on that, which isn't ideal either. Champ's finishable. Good, we can get that. No special. I suppose we can still make it work. It's fine for now. And then the next section is obviously where the room 1. So this is room 1 where you go to this room at the boss fight. So I just pick left side. That's the way I go. So there's obviously an exploit with these overlords. You just see me doing it earlier. No, this is room 2, sorry. On the room 1, you can just stun the overlord and go in the portal. The portal doesn't spawn to show you that it's there, but it is there. You just need to stun the champ. I don't believe it works if you don't damage them. You've got to stun them on this difficulty. This only works for this. It doesn't work when you actually get to the boss, which is such a weird exploit. It's so weird. It counts for platinum as well. This is a platinum run. You can't skip any champions apart from one. There's one champion that I've learned that you can skip, and it's at the boss fight, and you still get plat. I've means tested that as well. I haven't just done one run. As I said, I've done like a few runs today. So you've got double overloads here. My idea for this, which if my grenade had landed, it would have worked. I ended up doing it anyways, but my idea is to rush the room and then grenade both the champs. It didn't happen because they shot my grenade down, which, you know, when that happens, there's nothing you can do really. You just have to wait for another nade. So My plan B is to come up here. But if my plan had been executed, I would have cleared out both overloads, all the room with one super. So that just shows you how good Nova Warp can be when you're at power level. It's when you're under power. It doesn't seem to scale well. A lot of these Roman supers don't. They don't scale well up in power. So if you're under leveled, they don't do as much damage. Like Nova Warp scales up. Nova Bomb scales when you're under leveled really well. It still puts out a lot of damage. So that's the only thing I would like them to see. I would like to see them buff Roman supers. All Roman supers need a good buff. Like Nova Warp, they've buffed it. It's still not enough. It needs more. It needs to be more damage because the one-shot supers are still the best in raids and solo. Why is that? Well, because they're a one-and-done super. You can then swap to your rocket, your linear, and do more DPS because the animation's so fast. You know, whereas when you're stuck in a Roman super, you're stuck in a Roman super. There's pros and cons to it though, because you can get damage resistance and stuff like that. From I don't think people know the damage resistance from being in a Roman super is massive. It can be the difference between staying alive and not. So we're going to kill one of the unstoppables and then finish the other one. Notice we're low on heavy. So I'll use Dead Messenger for that and a nade just to get him weak. What you can see with this section, pretty simple. I'm just spamming my nade. I spammed a lot of rockets there as well for the time gain. Because as I said, this run's trying to be a bit more of an optimized one so that you sort of farming it solo wise, which you can. And if you don't want to do that, then use the same thing but with a team. You know? When I make these solo videos, that's not me telling you that you've got to. It's an option for people basically, because we know people have got kids, they've got other obligations inside, outside of the game, where they can't go on a headset to talk to people in a fire team. I think people don't understand that. That's why people want to solo stuff. Well, people don't understand that some people can't play with people. So why do you think people make solo guides? Because they can solo it at their own leisure, at their own time pace, at their own pace. It just depends. So we'll get a stun here. Use our Nova Warp as well. That will clear out both the overload and do damage to the boss. So we're multitasking. It's damaged. This is just showing you how good it is. It's obviously the Nightfall makes it look better than what it is because of cube burn on, right? But it's still a fun thing to use in this. The next wave of ads will use a grenade, which I saved for. Now we're just doing more damage with their messenger. I'm trying to save. I might actually use a rocket. Next wave spawned in. That's fine though, because we need a little super energy anyway. So I'm not clearing out all the ads, but I'll pick and choose when I do so. Right, now we're done with this phase. I don't want to do any more ad clear. I just want to get the boss sent, which I'll do that in a minute. We'll then get sent to the next room, which I'm skipping entirely until the champ. I will wipe the champ. This is just a way of doing it fast. So head over one right side, wherever side you want. Kill some of the raiders, you get an overshield. So this will help us to stay alive. I'll do the same again, but the raiders didn't spawn where they usually do. Actually, no, I got turnabout to proc, that's fine. Then I'll jump on this little location here and then up to this pillar. We can then safely take out the overload without worrying about screeps coming at us. So I'm just going to double rocket for the time gain and then through the portal. This phase you got unstoppable. Now the unstoppable can spawn left, right, middle. It just depends. I got the unlucky spawn. So if the unstoppable had spawned right there, that would have been ideal. I would have been able to do my damage. But now you've got to start a bit of map rotation. If the unstoppable isn't favourable on your favourable side, you've got to do some map rotation because the boss is going to come on you and do his tether, making all ads immune. So I recommend do a bit of map rotation. That then separates the ads up a little bit, allows you to get some stuns on the unstoppable. You can pick and choose which champ you skip, so you could technically skip the unstoppable, but I think it's a bit dangerous doing that. I'd rather skip an overload, which I do on the final phase. Skip it, but I still get platinum. As I said, if you don't believe me that you can skip and you still get plat, just check at the end of the video. It says platinum rewards. However, my loot doesn't show that it's platinum rewards. I only get 2 prisms. Why is that? Well, because the more you farm the Nightfall over and over, it's like a diminishing returns thing. If you like do 6-7 runs in a row, you're not going to get Ascendant Shards every run, especially if it's not double loot week, right? So it's not all, you know, on your first run you generally get the most rewards, I've noticed, you know, or your first couple of runs. It is all RNG, but that's why the loot was bad on this video. But the point still stands. This is showing you how to sort of farm it. So now we're in this room again. We'll use a bit of Dead Messenger. I'll maybe use my nade here. Just hopefully I get my nade back though. If you're going to use your nade there, make sure that you... I mean, you should do. I'm just about there now anyways. Yeah, I got my grenade. No Ravengers are pushing. I was just checking. Actually, there's one over the other side. We should be able to get him. I'm just going to double rocket. Actually, rocket. Just one rocket's enough. Yeah, we'll just wait for our nade. I'm literally just a few seconds. I'll use a healing ray for bomber, so I get my grenade back. So just so I can start killing some of these ads. We actually didn't get Devour there. I've just noticed. Actually, we just get it now. So on this last phase, as I said, this is the phase where you can skip. What I recommend doing, I see we got lucky there again, unlucky again with the shooting your grenade out of mid-air. I hate that mechanic. I hate that mechanic because there's no indication to say that they're going to do it. It's totally RNG. I mean, it's not completely RNG. Like, you need to be, if you're in the right spot and the enemies are in the right spot for you, like for them to shoot your grenade down, they're going to do that. But sometimes they don't as well. So I don't like a mechanic where there's no indication to say it's going to happen. I don't know how they would implement that though. It's the same thing with Novas. They shoot down Novas, and this is more apparent on like GMs. So you're going to use some rockets here. Well, what I'm waiting on is my super, which I'm just keep using Dead Messenger to stay alive with my Devour Chain. Turnabout's helping us stay alive, notice. Turnabout's really good on this weapon. Fantastic. But anyways, that was the Solar Master Nightfall getting platinum rank, showing how to farm it. As I said, you'll see platinum rank pop up at the very end of the video if you don't believe me about skipping. Hope you enjoy. Thank you.